Hi YouTube, this is my life through a Scotch glass. A plastic hotel Scotch glass. Hello, I'm here with Jason Mankey.
Hello.
He's written books and shit.
I've written some books.
Jason, what have you written?
I've written a book called The Witch's Athame, which is all about magical blades. And The Witch's Book of Shadows, which is about books of shadows. And then in November, The Witch's Altar. And then I'm never writing another book about tools ever again.
Yay!
Yeah.
No more tools in Wicca. Haha, that's
Well,
never gonna happen.
I'm just worried that people are gonna go, "Hey, Tool Boy." And that'll be my new nickname, Tool Boy.
We say that behind your back.
Already. That's fine.
That's fine. I want to write The Witch's Cocktail.
The Witch's Cocktail. I think that's Ari's book to
That's
write.
right.
That's Ari's my wife.
She's Whiskey Priestess.
She is. That's her Twitter handle.
That is her Twitter handle. I'm really far away from you.
Yes.
Hello! So it's day one of Pantheacon, and we have Scotch. And in a moment here, Jason is going to go downstairs, and he's going to lead a workshop on the Horned God. Yeah.
The Horned God of the British Isles. Though, half of the things I'm going to be talking about are not British, and they're not from the British Isles. However, it just is a good title for a workshop.
I was going to go to it, but now that you've said that...
You're out.
I'm out.
You're out.
Well, you also gave me Scotch.
It's true.
So
probably she'll be napping soon. How is that Scotch, by the way?
That's really lovely.
Tastes like chocolate, doesn't it?
I could see that.
Yeah, it's so good. A Glenmorangie, a Signette. So, just if you're into Scotch, it's very, very fine Scotch.
See, other YouTube pagans have tripods and edit shit, but I'm too lazy.
Well, most of your videos involve you getting drunk, right? I think that was the first time I ever saw a Thorn Mooney video. Is I'm here with my wine. Let me talk to you about witches, please. I'm not happy with them. You know.
That's never happened.
It was close. We're like, who's this sassy person?
No, was it the Skyclad video?
I don't think so.
I got messages from a whole bunch of guards who were like, "Who are you? Somebody needs to initiate you."
Yeah, I remember Seamus saw it first, and it's like, is she initiated? Is she an initiate? Because, Thorn Mooney not on Facebook, so it's hard to interact with her.
Right.
Oh, I'm going to retweet something. Nobody gives a shit about Twitter.
What? I've done well enough on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been able to crack the Twitter code.
That's because you're boring.
I am, pretty much. Apparently boring.
Tool boy.
Tool boy. Horned God tool boy.
No, that's good. No, Jason and I were just having a conversation about when we were young witches with our bootstrap Wicca and what that was like.
Long time ago.
I can still remember
how that ritual used to make me smile.
Or cry.
Mostly
cry.
Like crying.
Yeah. No, I'd never heard the expression bootstrap Wicca outside of Jason Mankey, and I really liked it.
Yeah, I don't think I made it up. I think one of my friends did, but kind of looked at what we did when we were in our 20s, and it was like we read a bunch of books, then we just started doing things, and we didn't have anybody older than us to ask. My hand is so big. And we didn't have anybody else to ask, and we just kind of figured out what worked. We pulled ourselves up by our bootstraps. I always liked that term.
Oh, that's fair. Well, we just called it eclectic Wicca at the time. But that's what it was.
It was.
Sure.
Sure it was.
Sure. I like bootstrap better.
I mean, there's eclectic Wicca, which is its own thing, and then there's initiatory Wicca, which is kind of like its own thing now.
Yeah. So, when I was a young witch, and I write about this a little bit in the intro to my book, which is coming out this summer, and the Llewellyn Suite is going to have a poster of the cover on the wall. I'm so excited, and I kind of turn around and mushed my face into the wall in front of the acquisitions editors, which, maybe made them feel a certain kind of way. But
uncomfortable is what it was.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm an awkward person to be around. Obviously.
Yeah.
No, so I wrote a little bit about when I first started, and I know I've talked about this on this channel, of course, but there was definitely a phase where it's not so much that I thought I knew everything, it's more like I was super jaded and I didn't think anything could surprise me. It's not so much that I was an expert, but I was just bored and this again.
I think I was an opinionated little ass, so
yeah.
I kind of felt like I had all the answers. Because, what I'd been doing had kind of worked, but I didn't really have most of the answers. I found that out later.
Oh, yeah. Well, and once... You know, it wasn't even like I just joined a coven and suddenly I realized what a dick I was. It was more like once I got into the space where I accepted that maybe I didn't know everything, I started, aside from the stuff I was doing with the coven, I started like going to festivals and just actively meeting other people. And I was exposed to more people within different traditions and doing their own thing. And I was like, oh, maybe everything doesn't happen in books or on the internet. Like, who knew?
I think for me, a lot of my early problem was was a part of a really great community of people, like a bunch of different pagans from doing different things, and I was never really a part of a very good coven. Even when I was initiated into Guard, my coven was like my wife and I and our high priest and our high priestess, and 4 people just...
That's not enough people to fight with.
No, it's not. It just doesn't really work. It doesn't work. And so when I moved to California 7 years ago, we started a coven, and that made all the difference because it was like a real coven with, 13, 15 people showing up for ritual.
Jesus, 15?
Yes, we've had
Oh
over
my God.
20, But people but you could really feel the energy in the room. You could feel it all coming together in a way that I had just theorized before, I think. And I've been to a lot of rituals at festivals, and those are fine. Those are good to
Sure.
some degree, but like doing it with a real
obviously.
coven is different. It was so much better. And, that really made me a better witch, a better pagan,
Yeah.
working with that group. And then living in California, you can go and see a bunch of people's rituals, and you don't have to be in it. And when you see a really terrible ritual, it like teaches you how to do ritual. Like you can learn more from going to the worst ritual than going to the best ritual.
Sure, that's how I learned to play guitar. Like going to open mics and sucking myself, right? But then watching other people suck and going, oh,
That's what I was doing.
I should stop doing that. Oh,
Yeah.
God. No, I've learned a lot through open ritual, good ones and especially bad ones. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I know one of the biggest frustrations I've run into in the last few years, and this was what I was saying, kind of the impetus for writing the book I did, was people look at Wicca and they look at like the open rituals that they've been to in the books that came out in like the 90s and the early 2000s, and they think that's what it is.
And that's not really what it is.
Right.
Your best ritual is not the one at the open public circle, because I don't think Wicca was really meant to be done by 60 people.
No.
Wicca is meant to be done by 13 people, or between
People you like.
people between 8 and 20, I think, is kind of where it goes. And in those situations, it's so much better. But you can't really do a ritual that's designed for 16 people with 60. And if
Right.
you do, it'll be terrible, because there's a difference.
Right. So hearing a lot about how like Wiccan ritual like lacks teeth, or what is, I don't even know what that means. But people are saying that based on like the ritual that they threw together with their other teenage friends like 10 years ago, or the thing that they saw at the opening ritual at their first festival, and
Yeah.
coming to the conclusion that, well, Wiccans aren't really doing witchcraft.
The giant community ritual for Beltane or something.
Right.
Where, they just walked the maypole and that was the whole ritual. But, when you're with that group of 13, that's not really how it is. Or the ritual where it's arts and crafts.
Oh, yeah.
We've all been to that ritual.
Yeah, where it's not really a ritual unless you take something artsy and crafty home with you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you have to make a thing.
I hate getting things at rituals. I hate it. Because it feels so wasteful to me. It really does. Like, we have a local group that I do some rituals for them every once in a while. But, like, there has to be a token at every ritual.
How often is it one of those, like, flattened glass fish tank marbles? You know what I'm talking about?
That kind of thing, yeah.
The fish tank marble?
Often it's, like, some sort of necklace around with a
A piece of
plastic...
string?
Yeah, with a plastic string or a piece of string.
Yeah, lots of, like, twine around my wrist kind of thing.
And I don't
I've
know
led
what
those
purpose
rituals.
that serves.
I've done those rituals. Like, I'm to blame here.
The best rituals are the ones where I don't take anything other than the magic with me from the ritual.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And the experience. So I'm a writer.
Buy his books. My arm is getting tired. Any closing thoughts?
Just do it. Do rituals. Whether they're good or they're bad, just do them, because you cannot get better unless you try. And
That's
do them.
true. And you should call up your friends, and you should get your friends to do them with you, because even if you're embarrassed, your friends want to do them with you. Yeah, do the thing.
Some of them. Though there's always that one friend who wants to be at the ritual but doesn't want to do anything. And you know what? That's also okay. You don't
Sure.
have to do anything.
Okay.
other than participate.
Yay!
Yay.
We have Scotch.
Yay.
Bye!
Scotch.